guys, welcome back. This is going to be part 13 of the pole position restore. I got the monitor chassis out. Got the new cap kit from Arcade Parts and Repair in the mail today. So we're going to go ahead and cap this. These chassis don't have a ton of caps on them. Not like some of those chassis that have, you know, like 20 or 30 of them. I don't even know if, this one might. I don't think it has that many, but let's take a look at it here, see what we got. This is a Kortek, I believe it's a 2001 is the number. Where does it say it at here? We don't have any caps on the neck board. Yeah, it's a Kortek 2001 SF. And Arcade Parts and Repair had the kit for it. See what we got here. I gotta grab a pen so I can mark them off as I take them out and replace them. Here's our caps that we have and need. Make sure that this says this, yep. KT-2001 SF. So that's correct. So like I said, not a ton of caps. So what do we have here? 3, 6, 7, 8, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20, about 24, 25. Okay. So let me go grab a pen. Neck PCB, what's it showing here? Looking here. Want to make sure that this is correct. Let's check the first one on the list here. Cap 1, sorry about that. Cap 151, 10, it's a 10 UF50, so cap 151. So we got to find C151 on the board. Sometimes it's easier to look at the top and then flip it over. What did I say, C151? Okay, C151 right here. And this is a, see if I can find it. This is a 10 UF50. Okay, that's right. So, all right, let me go grab a pen, because as we take each one out, we're gonna cross it or put a check mark next to it so that we know that we did that one. Okay, so 10 or 151, and we need a 10 UF50. There's a 150, 4.7. I usually like to kind of sort these a little bit. So it's 100, 250, another 100, 250, another 100, 250. So I'll put all those in a row. And these are 250. These are 10 UF 250s. 470, 35. Okay, here's a 10 UF 50. The longer leg is usually the positive. It is the positive. The shorter leg is the negative. So the longer leg always goes to the positive side. Usually it's always marked on the board. But we're going to flip this over and look here. 151, and it's showing the plus on this side here towards me. So I know that that's where the shorter, the longer leg? I haven't done a cap kit in a while. Yeah, the longer leg is positive. Okay, so we're gonna take out this 151. I might have to change the tip on here. Got a real small tip on here. Okay, so we're gonna put this in. I always double check to make sure that the cap I take out is going the right way. And on the top side of the board here, I'm not gonna zoom in, but there is, on the one side of the hole, there's a big white circle around it, and that is your negative side. And then if you flip it over, it shows you. So basically we're gonna stick the cap in here just like this. Get it down pretty far. And we're just gonna fold the two legs over. And that's it for now. Then we're gonna come over to our list and we're gonna put a check mark or a dash next to that one. We know we did that one. So now we're looking for 210, which is a 10 UF 250, which I just had those. 10 UF 250. So we'll get this one out. So we need to find C210. Sometimes these go in order, sometimes they're all over the place. And it looks like they're gonna probably be all over the place. I'm gonna unplug this right here. This is my power wire. And then the other two plugs here, this is the degauss coil. So we'll just get that out of the way so I don't have to wrestle with that. C210. So you can see it's a little time consuming. Here's 209, 201. C210. Okay, it should be this little guy right here. Negative is going that way. So flip it over here. We're gonna look for C210. Right here, C210. And that's correct. Positives towards me, negatives going that way. Can't get my fingers in there. Might have to clean this desoldering gun. There we go. I could not get my fingers on that. Negatives going towards the wall. And let's double check. It's a 10 UF 250. That's not the right one. 10 UF 450. Where the heck did it go? Must be this one. Yep, 10 UF 250. Negative goes towards the wall. I might have to clean out the one hole. I'm not sure yet. There's two solder pads connected to each other, and there's a big glob of solder on them. Then every time I suck the solder out, more comes from the other pad. Got it. Sometimes it'll fight you a little bit when something like that's like that. Okay, put our dash next to that one. And apparently I'm bleeding. My finger's bleeding. Okay. C401. It's a 1UF50, which is a small guy. I think it's this one. Yep, 1UF50. I'll do maybe a couple more and then I'll do it off camera and come back. So we got a 1UF50, C401, 409. None of these caps look bulged, but we're changing them because I cannot get it to that skew on the top of the screen to correct itself. So I'm hoping it's just a cap that is out of range. Where is 401? I'm gonna need to get needle nose pliers because there's 3 in there next to the flyback. I'm not reaching down there and I'm not taking this cover off to do it. So I'll have to get some needle nose so I can pull them out. Here's 409. Need 401. Sometimes it could be tricky finding them. 402. 401 right here. Just check the positive. Okay, negative's going towards me on this one. Okay, negative towards me. Okay, now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna jump out of order. Reason being is I'm gonna get the cap right next to it, which is .303, C303. Let's see what that is. Should be the same size cap. C303, yep, 1UF50. That's a 10. And the negative goes towards me again. Gotta clean this out. I'm gonna do that when I get off camera here. I think the tip's clogged up. I mean, it's making a sucking noise, it's just not real strong. You know, let me look at it real quick here. I never cleaned it after I changed all those sockets on that Williams board that I did. And I have a real small tip on here from when I was putting those little sockets on. It's not too bad, really. Might just have to put a bigger tip on it. Or push a thin rod down the pipe inside here. And you know what? The end of this is kind of clogged up. dropped the rubber piece somewhere. Where did that go? There it is. Trying to burn myself. Yeah, it's clogged up. All right, let me clean this. I'll be back. Okay, I'm reheating up the desoldering iron so I can clean out the center of it. I can't find my tips right now. When I remodeled the basement, I was in such a hurry to get it done that my storage room and my tools are just all thrown together right now. I literally need to spend a whole weekend and take everything out of the storage room and my toolbox, go through everything, reorganize everything. I have so many parts and pieces from doing this for 11 years that I don't even know what I have anymore. I probably have 2 to 3 of everything. I probably even had this cap kit in stock. I mean, usually when I order a cap kit or a flyback or something like that, and because I have a lot of games, I recommend buying 2 of everything. So if you're ordering a cap kit, buy 2 cap kits, because it's always, I have a bin full of cap kits. I probably should have looked through it because I probably had it. I just found a couple Dallas Rams, but they're not right for the pole position. But here's 2 of them right here. The battery one, the timekeeper battery. So, I mean, those are just sitting on the shelf when I was looking for the tips. I just have stuff everywhere. A clog somewhere and I don't know where the heck it's at. Frustrating. I mean, I could do the cap kit without this. Just a soldering iron, but I'd rather not. This is... Well, I guess I'll mess with this some more and I'll be back. Okay, I think I got it cleaned out good enough for now. Okay, I was trying to take out this one below that. 303 is what I was working on. Okay. Negative goes towards me. That's the 1UF50. And for me, a lot of people go in order on this list. I have an easier time, me personally, just finding the cap that I have not taken out yet, holding it, and then seeing what it is, which is C611. Rather than going in order, it's quicker for me to just grab the next cap that I see, look at the number, and then come over here and mark it off. If you want to go in order, you can, but then you're going to be spending a bunch of time searching around on the board to find those couple numbers. So I kind of like doing it this way. I was showing you the way that a lot of people do it, where they just go in order one at a time. But I like to kind of just jump around. So 611 is 100 UF 50. 100 UF 50. It's a 33. That's a 33. So 3.3. Right here, 100 UF 50. $6.11. Positive is going towards the table. Negative's going up. So we can mark off 611. Let's go to the next cap right next to it, which is 402. C402. It's a 1 UF 50. Negatives away from me. Double check. Okay. Now I'll just go straight down the line here. We'll go over to this one. C207. Okay, I just did that other one. What was that number? 402. 402 is done. 402 is done. And now we need 207, which is the last 1 UF 50. See which way that's going. Plus is towards me, negative towards the wall. So 207 is done. $509. Why does it say neck PCB? C509. It's right here, C509, 470.35. There are no caps on the neck. 470.35. 470.35. Let's pull it and make sure that's the right number on that one. Negative is going towards the table. Yeah, 470, 25 volt. And we're using a 470/35. Now, long as your UF value is the same, that's a 470, this is a 470. Your voltage can be higher. If it has a 25, you can put a 35 in there. If it has a 35 in there, you cannot put a 25 in there. You can go up on voltage, don't go down on voltage. So it's okay if it's higher on volts, you don't want to go lower on voltage. Okay, 509 is done. I don't know why they have this marked right here, neck PCB, because it's clearly on the main board. Here's your neck board right here, so, and there's not one cap on it, so we're not going to be doing anything on that. Okay, so now let's see where we're at here. Right over here we'll go next to the one we just put in, which is 209. 209, 220/50, right here in front of me. And just because, and the caps are going to be different sizes from what you take off the chassis to what you get. A lot of times the newer caps are actually smaller than the old ones. So we're at C209, which is a 220/50. Positives going towards the wall, negative towards me. In this case, this capacitor is actually bigger than what was in there. 220/50. So 209 is done. Go to the one next to it. 409. Let's find 409 right here. Is a 10UF50, which I believe are these. Yep. 10UF50. Negative is towards the wall. So you got to be really careful, because the one I just put in, the negative was facing me. Now this one next to it's going that way. Okay, so this whole column's done. Here's another old one right here. 507. 507. It's a 470/35. Negatives up towards the ceiling. See, when the desoldering gun's actually working, that's why I kept keeping the camera rolling for a few minutes so you can actually see. It's a pretty quick process if everything's working correctly. Okay, we got one down here. 208. What was that last one I just did? 503, 507, 507 is done. Now I need 203. Oh, 208. A 10UF50, that should be our last one of those. Right here, and our negative is going down towards the counter. this big guy right here. What was that one we just did? 208's done. This big one is 610, 2.2 350. 2.2 350 right here. And you can see this one's smaller, and I'll show you the one I'm taking out. And my negative is towards the counter. No. I have to pull that one and look. It looks weird because on here I see looks like it's a plus sign at towards the counter. This is how it came out. My negative is going towards the counter, and I swear that looks like a plus sign right there. That's a plus sign. I'm gonna put this cap in the identical way I took it out, because clearly that must be marked backwards. Yep, because on this side it's marked correctly. Negative is towards the counter. On the back side, the plus is going towards the counter. So they have this marked backwards. So you gotta always make sure of that. And I always check the stripe on the cap before I take it out. Now you can see the cap difference in size. The old one's actually bigger than the new one, which that seems to be the case most of the time. And let's check our value. This is a 10 UF 350. That's not right. That is not right. This is a 2.2 350. Here's a 10 UF 450. What number is that? Where'd I get that from? 610, C610. It's calling for a 2.2 350. Somebody had a 10 UF 350 in there. And it's a different brand cap than the rest of them. So I don't know why that is. I don't know, and I don't know that it's in the, I mean, it's got to be in the right way. I'm going with the markings on the front side, and obviously this cap's not blown. It might be a little bulge looking on the bottom. Could this be the problem? Could this be why it was, this top of the monitor was skewed? I don't know, but we're gonna do with this, we're gonna put it on the size that this paper's showing and see what happens. I'm gonna put a plus sign right there next to that C610. I'm gonna save this paper because if for some reason I have an issue, I'm gonna look at that first. That's gonna be the first thing I'm gonna run to, because I know that that is clearly something funky going on with this one. Okay. Now we need a C210. Is it 10? Oh, I already did that one. Okay. Let's grab these ones over here. C213, 100 UF 250, C213, 100 UF 250, which is this big guy here. And actually that cap's bigger than the old one. See the difference here? Okay, now it has it marked upwards, and that's how it came out. The negative is upwards. And on the back, it's correct. It shows the positive on the bottom, no marking here, which is negative. So now we're gonna go to C615, which is another 100 UF 250. Negatives up towards the ceiling. Marked correctly on the board. Okay, next to it, 505. I believe that's a 505. Yep, 505. 470.35. We're almost out of caps. And we just got to solder them in. Okay, negatives upwards again. Okay, we got a 160-100 UF. That's this one right here, C614. Which one do we just do? 505. Now we need a 614. Right here, 100 UF 250. Right here. And the one that is in here, the negative is pointing towards me. And the one that's in here is a 100 UF 160, and we're putting in a 100 UF 250. So it's a higher voltage, same UF value, obviously. This tip I have in here is barely fitting over these big cap legs. And I can't find my other tips right now. Negative towards me. And don't be surprised when you're done with the cap kit. Sometimes it has a few extra ones in the kit. So don't let that fool you and think you missed one, because I have definitely had that happen multiple times. Okay. That was, what number was that? 614. Okay, so basically there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have the right amount. So now we need to work on these ones that are behind the cage for the flyback. I have a pair of needle nose. I don't have straight ones down here. I got these angle ones, but they should work. This is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. Negatives going towards me on the first one. I don't want to take the cage out. To take the cage out, I got to desolder stuff, and I'd rather not start messing with other stuff. I try not to mess with stuff that's not broken. Let me get this big cap out of the way first. That one's pointing towards the wall. This is the big cap, the 502. 10 UF 450, 502, 10 UF 450. Right here. And try not to hold your desoldering gun or a soldering iron on the pads for too long, because you don't want to ruin the pad. This one, negative's facing that way. Yeah, this is a 10 UF 350. Now I gotta try to get this back in there. C504, 3.3 250. Is it 3.3? 33 250. No, wait, hold on here. 504, 3.3 250. This is a 33. 4.7. Here it is. $504. $504. Plus is that way, and that is correct. Feel like a dentist. Negative towards me. $503, $33.50. Right here should be a $33.50. It's a $33.63. They're saying it's a $33.50, $33.63. Okay, so there's another screw up. This is an actual screw up on the board. They clearly must not have had the 3350s in stock, so they gave me a 3363 volt, which is fine. It's just a little higher in voltage. That's going to go on this next one. I'm kind of glad I left the camera rolling, because that's like the second thing that's been kind of weird. But normal. I mean, if you've done quite a bit of cap kits, it's pretty normal, but for somebody that's new at it, it's obviously not going to be normal, and I can see how it would be confusing. Plus is going towards the wall, negative towards me again. Let's see what was in here. $33.50. Okay, negative towards me. I gotta try to weasel this one in here. This one's a tight fit. Real tight fit. Wish I had my straight ones, but I'm too lazy to walk out to the shop right now. Got it. Okay. All right, those are replaced in there. These are all replaced. Oh, I think I found one. I missed. Did I miss this one? Yep. C212. 10UF250. Right here. UF250. Negative is towards the ceiling. Can't really get my fingers on this one too well. Let's see if I can push these through. Come on. Okay, we got two here. Really, really in there. Let me show you these. Those things are buried in the bottom there. First one, the negative is going to be going towards the wall. I need to see what number that is. Get my pliers on it. It is 603. 603. 0.4750. 0.4750. Right here. And there's a T after it, and I'm not sure what the T means. Let's see if it says down here. Note. I gotta show you something here in a second. Okay. Let me get this cap out. Find it. Jesus, freaking mess. Where the heck is it at? It's right below this. That doesn't look real good there. Bunch of flux on there. Okay, negative towards the wall. Also, when you do a cap kit, check all your solder joints on the bottom to make sure you don't have something that's a loose solder joint. Okay, so on this paperwork, because I never read ahead, right here it says note cap C610. On some chassis have the polarity listed on the component side different than on the solder side of the PC. So make sure to note your polarity before removing your old capacitor. So you see how I double checked that, and then I had put a plus sign here. So we should be correct because they noted it in this paperwork. But the funny thing is usually they'll put like an asterisk or something, a mark next to it to let you know that there's a note down here, but they didn't mark that. But I'm still curious on that one I just put in. What does that T mean? Like, I don't see anywhere where it says anything about the T. I mean, if it were a bipolar one, it would have a BP next to it, or an NP for nonpolar. What the heck does the T mean? I mean, a tantalum capacitor? Not sure, but it did come with a tantalum cap, but it's not in that area. And where did I go with it? Or if I dropped it on the floor. Great. That'll be fun to find. It's a white floor and it's a yellow cap and it's tiny. Well, I guess I'll find that afterwards. Okay, so I have one more cap to put on, which is, I think that's 601. Or is it a 5? 605 maybe? Can't see it. Nope, not a 601. It's a, I can't see it. 605. Is it 5? 605. Okay, 4.750. Make sure it's a 4.750. No, it's a 33. I wonder if, I'm not sure here what's going on, but I clearly lost that one tantalum cap. And I wonder if that is supposed to be a tantalum cap, but there was a regular cap in that spot. Let me stop the camera for a minute so I can find where the heck this cap went. Okay, found the tantalum cap. I have tantalum caps. I don't have one this small. This is a 0.47 50 volt. And that's how tiny that thing is. That thing was like a needle in a haystack trying to find it on this floor. Fell off the counter. So there was originally a regular capacitor in that location that has the T next to it, which is 603. I screwed up and I stuck in, because I saw 4.7 and this is a 4.7. And in my head, I just thought 4.7 because I saw 4.7. It's actually 0.4750, and that's what the T is it's a tantalum cap, and that's why they gave me a tantalum cap. Now, once again, the longer leg is your positive, your shorter leg is your negative, so we need to put this in place. Why they switched it from a regular capacitor to this, I'm not sure. I should have looked at that one. I'm going to look through those and see if I can't find it. I don't know what was in there before. It was my bad. I should have looked at it. But I don't know why they're putting this in there. Man, I can't see this at all. Okay, that one's in. Just curious. Really curious about that now. It's a 10. Wish I would have known. I didn't think anything of it because it was just a regular capacitor. Here's a 1 UF50. I think they had a 1 UF50 in there. I'm not seeing anything. Here's a 3.3100. No. I think they had a 1.50 in there. Why it's getting this one? No clue. I don't know if that has to do with something, but we'll just go with it. Okay, so now we have 2 caps left. I know of one. I got to find the last one. But this one right here, negative is going to be going towards the ceiling once I flip this up. It's going to be a long video. I don't want to speed it up or anything because I figured I'd rather let you see it. And my desoldering gun went to sleep. So now I got to wait for this to heat back up real quick. It's at 230. I desolder, I think I'm at 400 and some degrees, that I found to be a pretty good temperature. I forget what it's normally at. I'm at 300 right now. It's going up. Come on. Wasting time here. Well, that's warming up. I'm going to see 605. And that's going to be this one that I almost stuck in the wrong spot. 4.750. 605. Yep, 4.750. So yeah, I would have screwed up and put that in that other spot. I don't know what it would have done, but it was definitely wrong. So the only one I'm missing here is this one. This 3350, the 407. I need to find the C407. This is the last cap, and they replaced it with a 3363. Come on. It's in Celsius, 424 Celsius. Yeah, this is a wedge. It's at 460 Celsius. Negative towards the ceiling. Okay, one left. 407. Where are you? Right here. Plain view. Negative towards me. Am I in the right spot? What am I doing wrong here? I'm in the wrong spot. I desoldered the wrong thing. Whoopsie. Fix that real quick. Okay, we've successfully replaced them all, and I'm really confident that they are in the right spot. So we are going to solder them on real quick, and then we got to cut all the leads off. Try not to hold them on the pads for too long because they're kind of delicate, and you can definitely melt your pad or detach it from your circuit board. I don't like the solder pads on this one. There we go. Resolder this one that I accidentally desoldered. It was a resistor, I think it was. I don't remember. My tip was dirty on here, and I wonder why it wasn't working well. That's better. Got a hole right here. Just going to close it off. Don't know why it was there. Okay. Show you how I cut them after this. The legs off, and then we are going to be done with this video. Then in a couple days we'll know if it works. I don't know, maybe I'll get to it tomorrow. We'll see. I've got a lot to get done. Need to start body working those other cabinets too. I think I got them all. Now it's really important when you're cutting these leads off that you get all of them cut. If you leave one of these on there and it happens to be laying over another one, you're going to short something out. And I cut them as low as I can, right above the solder. So if there's somebody out there watching this video and they're new to doing a cap kit, hopefully this will help you guys out. It is fairly easy. I don't have an expensive desoldering gun. I think I paid $100 for it on Amazon, but it works. I don't have a fancy expensive one. I don't do a ton of soldering and desoldering to warrant a $400 to $500 one. I would rather buy a $100 one 4 times than buy an expensive one, to be honest with you, because I just don't do enough of it. If I was doing this every single day, I would buy a $400 one. But doing it maybe once a month, I really personally can't warrant the money. And you don't have to have a desoldering iron like that. You can get a solder pull. What a solder pull is you'll take your soldering iron and you'll hold it on one of your terminals, and then you put it over it and you hit the button, and it'll suck the solder out once you heat it up with your solder gun. I used to have one. They don't work too bad. Careful when you're lifting these legs up. Make sure you're paying attention. Make sure none of the pads are wanting to lift or anything, because if they are, fix it now. Now is when you're going to want to make sure you fix it. See, I got one leg there. I cut the other one off and I forgot to cut this one, and it was laying over top of another solder joint. Don't cut into your solder, cut right above it. So we put 20 some caps in, so that means there's 40 some legs to cut. I see a joint, solder joint right here. I don't really care for much. I think it looks like crap. There we go. A little bit of heat on it. That's all it needed. That was when my tip was dirty. I use these little side cuts, Amazon, and get a box of 5 of them for 20 some bucks, I think it is. They're model 170. Okay, I got everything. Now there's like somebody took a leg from here and bent it over and soldered it onto there. Leave it alone, don't cut it apart. That's done for a reason. I don't think I see anything else. I'll bring it over to the camera here so you can see it. And when you look at it up close, you would never know. So, all right, I hope this helps out people who are just maybe getting into the hobby, or maybe going to start to attempt to do this on their own to save themselves money. I think the cap kit with shipping was like $20 some, $30, something like that. For this chassis, I did not order 2 cap kits. Usually I will always order 2 cap kits, but this is not a real common chassis. This is a newer style monitor. I don't even know if I have a kortek in any of my games right now. So I did not order 2 cap kits. I probably should have, because the shipping would have been the same either way. Shipping's expensive. It was like $10 or $12 for shipping. But I probably should have ordered 2 of them, but I didn't. But usually I always will. And on my common monitors, I will order, if I need a flyback, I'll order 2 of them. I always want to have an extra one on hand, because if I'm got a party coming up or something and a flyback goes out, I would rather have another one on the shelf that I can put in right away and get it up and running again, versus having a game down if I don't need to have it down. It's just, like I said, if you're getting big into this hobby and you're going to have 20, 30, 40, 50 games, 100 games, you're going to want to have this stuff extra, because this stuff will fail. Something will happen. And just because this cap kit went in perfectly, Except for I almost screwed up on that one cap over here. Luckily, I caught it. Even though this is a brand new cap kit, always have extra caps in stock. Always, because if you do put one in backwards, you're going to blow the cap. And if you don't have another one here, your common sizes, which I have tons and tons of them. But if you don't have it, then you're going to have to order another cap kit or just individual caps and wait days for that to come. So I believe this should work. I'm hoping the cap was just out of range. It was out of spec, and that's what was causing that top to curl. I don't believe these pots are going to be bad for the vertical hold adjustment and all that stuff. I don't think they're going to be bad, but you know, you never know. They could be, you know. So basically, if we put this back together and it's still doing the same thing, then I'm going to have to start figuring out if it's one of these pots. And I'll have to figure out what size these pots are by desoldering them, because I don't, well, I see a number on them, 53, 32, 53, 53. So I don't know what that means. I'd have to look it up. There's even a 54. And I don't know if it'll say on the bottom of the, when I take it off or not, what size it is. But anyways, that's going to end this video, guys. Hopefully this helps out some of you new guys that are getting into this stuff. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. If you wouldn't mind subscribing, liking, sharing, hitting the thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, one more thing. Before you put it back together, make sure nothing's touching each other, because you took it out and you could easily bend something over and it could be laying on something else. So that's another good tip, to try to make sure that before you put it together that nothing's touching itself. And I'm going to put this AC power plug back in too before I forget. So all right guys, you have a good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.